With abortion on the ballot for the first time since Roe v. Wade was overturned, Kansas voters made their voices heard and overwhelmingly rejected a ballot initiative that would have allowed lawmakers to restrict or ban abortion in the traditionally conservative state.
Yesterday, while signing an executive order on abortion rights, President Biden called the results in Kansas a decisive victory, adding voters in the state had made it clear that politicians should not interfere with the fundamental rights of women. Joining us now is the executive director of the Planned Parenthood Action Fund, Kelley Robinson. Kelley, thank you so much for being with us. And I just first off want to get your reaction to Kansas voters and whether or not you think this is a sign of what's to come as we head into the midterms.
This is huge. Kansans gave a decisive message that they are standing up for abortion rights and access. And I have to remind us that 80% of people in this country support protecting abortion rights. They support abortion access. So what we saw in Kansas was not surprising that voters voted in support of abortion rights. What was surprising is the overwhelming numbers that came out. The turnout that we saw on Tuesday was equivalent to the midterms of 2018. We're seeing this as being an issue that is, of course, good policy, but also good politics as we look at voters being not only angry, but also excited and enthusiastic about protecting the right to abortion care. You
talk about how huge this was in Kansas, but this can't be a plan now moving forward for abortion rights advocates. You can't go state by state. I mean, I guess you could, but you got the results you wanted there. But does this change strategy at all, or policy or politics, or how you go about messaging because of what you saw happen in Kansas?
I mean, ballot initiatives have always been a part of our strategy, but it's not the only part. We know that 26 states are poised to ban abortion access in the near future. 14 states have already banned abortion access. This is a state-by-state fight, but the strategies that we use at states are going to be what matters to get to make sure that we're expanding care there. Some places that's going to look like ballot initiatives. Other places it's going to look like fighting in the state legislature. And in a lot of places it's going to look like turning out the vote this November.
And Kelley, in terms of your work and how you all have had to probably make huge changes in your strategy and how you help and protect and serve women throughout this entire country, what advice, what do you tell women? It's so confusing. What states can women do? How do you all reach women, and what are you telling them? What advice are you giving them?
This is the part that's devastating. Every day I wake up thinking about the person that finds out they're pregnant and is doing immediate calculations, trying to understand what the laws are in their state, trying to decide if they've got enough money to get to care, trying to decide if they can take off work or get access to child care. This is a challenging and really devastating moment for so many people when we think about healthcare access. And we also have to remember that many of these states that are banning abortion are the least supportive of mothers, of birthing people, and of families. They're at the bottom of the list when it comes to infant mortality, when it comes to maternal mortality, when it comes to child poverty. So these abortion bans are creating even more of a crisis for people that are already struggling. So at the end of the day, we're focused on two things. One, making sure that people get access to health care no matter what. Sometimes that's going to look like getting people to care. Sometimes that looks like getting care to people. And the second thing that we're focused on is changing the political dynamics that have allowed these bans to go into place. We know that this is not the will of the majority of people. So we're doing all that we can to make voters aware of exactly what's at stake and to turn people out this November. And as we saw in Kansas, people are motivated. When the voters can decide, they are on the side of abortion rights and abortion access.
Kelley, as you do your work, the president is trying to do something at the federal level. He signed another executive order yesterday, supposed to help women who have to cross state lines possibly for abortion services to possibly get some financial help. But also it doesn't necessarily give a timeline for when this would go into place. It doesn't actually give much detail about how it would happen. And it also allows for more study. It calls for the federal government to study more ways to help. So what do you see the executive order that he signed yesterday doing to help right now?
We applaud the Biden administration. It is truly incumbent on every elected leader right now to do everything within their power to protect access to care. So the executive order is a step in the right direction, and we still need more. We've seen also strong moves from the Department of Justice, right? We have seen strong moves from the Health and Human Services Department and Secretary Becerra. All of these are very important steps that the federal government is taking. And still we know that we've got to continue this fight state by state and make voters aware of exactly what's at stake. Because in order to win, we have to build more political power in these states to ensure that the will of the voters is heard.
And I'm curious, Kelley, what does your organization need right now? Have you seen an uptick in support financially after Roe versus Wade was overturned? What do you all need to continue your work?
I got to tell you, it has been humbling and empowering to see how people have really stepped up in this moment of crisis. We need folks to continue donating as much as possible, not only to Planned Parenthood, but also to abortion funds and indie providers across the country. We need people to educate themselves about the laws in their states and also about self-managed abortion so that we can be those folks that are there to offer help when people need it. And we also need folks to continue telling their stories. Our opposition wants us to believe that this is a minority opinion or a minority issue, but that's not the case. 80% of people support access to abortion care. We are the majority. So come this November, we will be voting like it, and we want to make sure that every anti-abortion politician sees Kansas, sees how people are getting involved, and is on notice, because the wrath of the voters will be heard this November.
Well, all right. Executive Director of the Planned Parenthood Action Fund, Kelley Robinson. Always appreciate hearing from you. Thanks so much. I'm sure we'll be talking down the road.
Thank you.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.